What's up, everybody? D-Man back. Welcome to a brand new video, and this is just another part of my binge. Of course, I'm doing video binges now to get rid of all the boxes in the background. Hey, you guys have been requesting me to do unboxings for all this stuff for a long time, so I'm hoping that this is satisfying. I've got this big box filled with NECA figures. I believe that this is their final 4 Godzilla figures that they have under the license. So in this video set, I'm gonna be popping this box open and reviewing all the goodies inside. Here we go. I'm gonna start out with, I think this is the original. I have no way of knowing. Okay. I cheated a little bit there on the unboxing. I'm gonna start out with this guy and then I'll get on to the others in a different video. I did cheat a little bit. I peeked inside to make sure this was the right figure. So here we go, the Godzilla 1989 NECA figure. Again, I should have gotten my SH Monsters out for comparison. I don't have any comparison figures in the NECA video set. My bad. Maybe someday I'll do like a NECA versus Monster Arts series and show off which ones I like more. But for this one, it's all about NECA, baby. With that being said, this video is brought to you by NECA. They send me these figures so I can review them for you. Shout out to NECA. Go check them out in Targets, Walmarts. There's lots of places to sell them. Amazon, yeah, you can get them all over the place. Also, I am a huge fan of these poster figure boxes. I think they look great. So here you go on the front, you've just got this beautiful artwork, beautiful stuff. One of my favorite Godzilla posters. I think it's fantastic. It really captures the mood of the movie and has a very special quality to it. I really like the Biollante design on it. It's very intimidating. I think it's great and I like the color palette. So there you go. You got the Godzilla vs. Biollante poster. You got the font up here, which I think is cool that they go with Japanese and English. That's pretty sweet. Here on the side, you've got another poster. On the other side, you've got the same poster. On the back, you've got a little plot description, and you've got character poses from the movie as well as the logo again. And then underneath, you've got your basic info. Emerging from a fiery pit in Mount Mihara, Godzilla returns to wreak havoc once more. Drawn to Ashinoko Lake, the creature faces off against a hybrid monster created from the cells of a human, a rose, and even Godzilla. Will Godzilla's strength and power be enough to defeat the might and ferocity of Biollante, or has Godzilla met its match? And then on the box here, you've got a picture of Godzilla using his atomic breath, as well as a picture of Godzilla walking around, kind of like the Osaka destruction scene in that movie. For those of you who don't know, Godzilla vs. Biollante is one of my top favorite Godzilla movies and has one of my favorite Godzilla destruction scenes of all time with that rampage through Osaka, and also features my #1 favorite Godzilla design. There are certain angles in that movie where the suit looks a little weird, specifically when he's in the water and it's shot from head on. He looks a little weird, but generally speaking, the 1989 Godzilla design is my favorite Godzilla design. It's the one that looks the most classic. It's got that very strong Godzilla feel to it, and it's pretty cool. So here on the box, you have Godzilla in the water with this stream of Biollante dust around him. You can also see here, you've got roses. These are actually from a deleted scene in Godzilla vs. Biollante where Biollante dies and turns a whole field into a bunch of roses. And they do fit the Biollante theme because she was born of roses as well. And then you've got Biollante's dust going up here in the background. So it's a really detailed, well thought out box. Fantastic. This image is also reminiscent of the ending of Godzilla vs. Biollante when Godzilla emerges in the water once more. How far into the video are we right now? Because there's 12 minutes of recording of me trying to get this guy out of the box, but he's finally out and his tail's not attached, which is par for the course with NECA. Should have expected. I do like the pose his tail came out of the box with. Hey, I like the Godzilla's tails when they bend like this. I really like that. In the movies and in the figures, I'm a big fan of it. I love the fact that this tail has enough articulation to hold this pose. Good stuff there, but the tail's not attached and I'm gonna need to heat it up. That sucks because I didn't grab a blow dryer again. Gone are the days of the Playmates unboxings where I could just force the tail into position easily. I'm back. So here he is, Godzilla. First of all, I guess there's pegs in the feet so you can put him on a stand if you want. That's okay. Let's take a minute to appreciate the texturing in this because there's a lot of really nice texturing throughout. He's got a very deep sculpt. That's something I always look for, is these crevices inside of his skin. Adds a lot of texture to his skin, makes him feel a lot like the suit, and then he's got these scales on the chest. The teeth all seem to be individually sculpted, individually painted, and he's got a very nice tongue. He's got these big puffy cheeks which look fantastic, these mean brown eyes, and the dorsal fins look great. They have texturing of their own. They stand apart from the rest of the design. It's overall a fantastic texture and a fantastic sculpt. Even the hands look great. And the paint is great too. If you can see he's got this dark gray all over, all throughout. Then he's got some areas here where you can see some shadowing painted in. His mouth looks fantastic with great paint there, and his fingers look great as well. His eyes also are great. You can see that there's pupils in there. The toes are all painted different as well, and the dorsal fins are all their brighter color as well. I don't know, this is great. This is exactly what I was hoping for with this figure. I think it looks fantastic. It feels fantastic. He feels big and bulky, not as big as like the 62, but he doesn't need to be. He feels big and bulky and mean and awesome, and I love the suit. I love the design. I love the figure as well. In terms of articulation, you've got the head, the mouth, the neck can turn side to side, the body can't really shift up and down, but the torso can turn side to side. Arms have pivots at the shoulders, at the elbows, at the wrists, and in the fingers, so you can close his fist or open his fist. I love it when figures add that. I'm always a big fan of the hand articulation. The legs are similar. You've got joints on the thighs here. His knees are very stiff, but they can bend in and kick out. You can see this one's bent in, but you can kick it out. The feet also turn. The problem with using the camera that I use is it auto focuses, and it's really hard to get to focus on the right thing. And as far as the tail goes, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points of articulation, with the 8th being a small bendy wire. So that means you can get the tail in as many cool poses as you want. And like I've said already, I love posing my tails. That's like my favorite thing to do with Godzilla figures. So it's got great articulation, a great sculpt, great paint. There aren't really any problems with the paint. There's like one paint splotch on the back of his neck, but it's only noticeable when you have his head pointed downward. You can't see it when his head's pointed upward. I don't think the gaps in the dorsal fins look all that bad. I mean, it's noticeable here, but it's not like a figure ruiner. I think it looks fine. I know some people get really upset about that. The mouth can open a lot, and that's so that you can plug in the atomic breath. The atomic breath has this sleek, glossy look to it. It kind of reminds me of the Godzilla King of the Monsters atomic breath as well. It's different though. Here at the end has a different plug. This one's actually got the teeth marks of Godzilla etched into them. It's a little bit of a different sculpt for the atomic breath here. It is still very similar with the really thin, fine points on it. There is a subtle spiral that runs throughout this atomic breath. I don't know if that was an intentional choice to try and make it a little more like the Heisei spiral breath, or if that just was a happy accident, but either way, it is nice. The paint job is light blue and kind of white. In the movie, it's a little more dark blue if memory serves, but that's all right. I'm not too particular about that. And then you can plug it in nicely into the mouth with the teeth etchings facing down is what I believe. I think that's what you're supposed to do. It goes far back into his neck and then locks in position very well, so you can really keep that in his mouth and move him around and have him posed whatever, doing whatever with the atomic breath firing from his mouth. Always great when you can do that. I'm a big fan of that. My Godzilla King of the Monsters atomic breath from 2019, it falls out a lot, whereas the other Godzillas from NECA, they typically plug in there if the atomic breath came with the figure, not if it was reissued with the figure. So it's great. I don't know. You guys know I love the design. If I do have to compare it to the Monster Arts off the top of my head, I do think the Monster Arts is a little more movie accurate. When roaring, this Godzilla's face looks great, but when you close his mouth, he looks a little more cartoonish, a little more, I guess on camera, he looks kind of sinister and like he's scheming or something. He looks a little angry. From the side, it looks great. I really like that, and I like the ear here as well. Good detailing, like I said. But from the face, it doesn't look as intimidating in person as it does here on the camera, I promise you that. When you open his mouth, it looks great, like I said, but he just looks a little happy, a little cartoonish. When compared to the Monster Arts figure, he looks really mean and menacing from every angle, no matter what you do with him in the Monster Arts figure. So that's something that goes towards the Monster Arts figure being a little cooler. That being said, the Monster Arts figure is also kind of cheating because it's the light, sound, music, so it's a bigger scale. They could do more detailing with it, and it was also a bit more of a high price point because they were putting a little more effort into it. But as it stands, I think this is one of NECA's best, if not their best Godzilla figure. I think this one's awesome. It has a great feel, very representative of the suit, very representative of the Heisei era. It's their first attempt at a Heisei era figure in a long time. Their previous attempts are not my favorites, and this one is fantastic. They really knocked it out of the park with this. It's a huge step up from what we originally got from them back when they were very first starting out. Fantastic work. Like I said, I absolutely love this guy. This was the NECA figure I was looking forward to the most ever since it was announced, and I'm sure it'll be the one I was happiest to unbox. So overall, I'm gonna give this guy a 9 out of 10. For people who like to collect middle-end figures, this is absolutely the way to go. Don't spend all the money in the world you can on the Monster Arts, even though Monster Arts is doing a new version of 89. This is a great middle ground. It's a great figure for children and for collectors. collectors. That's the true power of NECA, is that they appeal to both markets simultaneously. It's cheap enough to where kids can play with these, but they're good enough to where you can put these on a shelves and proudly display them. They're great. So shout out to NECA once again for this guy. I love it. Thank you guys all for watching. I really appreciate all the support these videos get. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you guys next time for the next one. D-Man out.